Today, I'm going to be managing every newly promoted Premier League club for the 2023 and 2024 season. As you guys can see, I have put Burnley, Sheffield United, and, of course, Luton Town all in the Premier League for this season. So, let me explain how this is going to work. We are going to be taking over every newly promoted Premier League club with just one goal in mind, and that's to win the Premier League. And we aren't going to stop until we get sacked or until we win the Premier League trophy. So let's go ahead, hop right in, man. We're kicking off with Burnley. I will see you guys with the team. All right, here we are with this Burnley squad, and as you guys can see, I have recalled Wout Weghorst from his loan at Manchester United, and yeah, this is what the squad's looking like. Let's go ahead and take a look at the players we've listed. As you guys can see here, there's a bunch of players on our transfer list here. I'm not going to go through them all, but you guys can see them, and I've also listed this dude for loan. All right, now it's time to make some moves, and as you guys saw earlier, we have 69 million to play around with. So, first player I'm going after is going to be a Juke from Hertha Berlin. He's 24 years old, and he has incredible pace, man. He has like 94 speed, 88 excel. I've used this dude before. He's a career mode cheat code, man. Super cheap, and he's gonna play much better than that overall. I believe he's like a 76, but we'll be able to get him to Burnley for 8 million, and that is an absolute steal. Trust me on this one. Next up, on the other side of that midfield, we are going after his Nigerian brother, Samuel Chukwueze from Villarreal, 23 years old, 79 rated. Let's go ahead and go in with an offer for him. He's valued at around 27 million, so I think I'm going to start this at 30 million here. They want a 5% sell-on clause. Let's just go ahead and remove that, and that should get the deal done. And it is. Samuel Chukwueze is coming to Burnley. And last but not least, we are bringing in Milan van Ijswijk from, I'm not sure what team that is, but it is an Eredivisie club. We are going to be bringing him to the Premier League. Let's go ahead and go in with an offer here. We are going to be playing him on the opposite side of Ian Matson. Start off with 10 million here. They want 10.5 and a sell-on clause. That's a big sell-on clause too. We'll do 12.5. I feel like that's a pretty good offer. They want 13 million for him. We'll do that. We'll do 13 million. Milan van Ijswijk is coming to Burnley as well. We will get these three players signed up, and I will see you guys with the team. Here is what the team is looking like headed into season one, and we look pretty solid, honestly. Like, this isn't a bad squad at all. I don't think we should have any problem staying alive in the Premier League. We should definitely be able to hold our own. I'm honestly looking for a top 15 finish. Anything other than that is a huge disappointment for us because I think this team's pretty solid, man. So I will see you guys at the end of the year. We have reached the end of the season. As you guys can see, we had a phenomenal season, finishing in 8th place. We have completely exceeded our expectations. I cannot believe how well we have done this season, man. We just missed out on European football by 2 points. If we would have won against Manchester United on the last match day, we would have been in European football next season. But it is what it is, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. And oh my goodness, man, Wout Weghorst was absolutely phenomenal. 22 goals in the Premier League this season. That's phenomenal. If he would have done that in real life this year, he would have been third in the whole league, just behind Harry Kane and Erling Haaland. What a phenomenal season from Wout Weghorst. Samuel Chukwueze was pretty decent. 8 goal contributions in 33 games, not bad at all. But this kid, Ajuke, man, 10 goal contributions in just 22 games, absolutely phenomenal. Josh Brownhill with 8 goal contributions. Gerari actually did great in his limited playing time, 10 goal contributions in 24 games there. Ian Matson with 8 goal contributions. Colin with 10. There's a lot of stats here. I'm not going to go through them all. You guys can take a look at them. But let's go ahead and keep it moving. I will see you guys in the next season. Here we are now in season number 2. This is what the squad is looking like, and take a look at our transfer budget over here. We have 57 million to play around with. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and take a look at the players we've listed for transfer here. This is going to be a lot of money if we're able to sell these guys. We had a lot of these guys last year on our transfer list here, and we didn't get any offers for them, unfortunately. But I expect that to change this year, and I expect to make a lot of money. We should have about 100 million to play around with after everybody's sold. So I will see you once we're done selling players. All right, we have made a few sales and now we are up to 98 million. So I'll go show you how I did that real quick. First player we sold was Ecto to Fulham for 5 million. After that, we sold this dude to Montpellier for 3.4 million. Manuel to West Ham for 7 million, and Zarari to Real Sociedad for 24 million. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and make some signings. All right, we've made 4 signings so far this window, and I don't plan on making any more. So let's go ahead and go over these real quick. First up is Ian Matson. He was on the team on loan last year. He was phenomenal. We picked him up for 50 million from Chelsea. Next up is Taylor Harwood-Bellis. He was also on the team last year on loan. We picked him up from Manchester City for 25 mil. Levi Colwill, we picked up from Chelsea for 7.5 million. I think that's an absolute steal. And lastly, Josh Da Silva, we picked up from Brentford for 7 million. Again, I think that's an absolute steal. All right, here's what the team is looking like headed into season number 2. And honestly, man, we're looking pretty good, but we're looking pretty much like the same team as well. I mean, really, the only replacements here is Colwell over Taylor and Da Silva over Colin. The rest of the team is the exact same, and we also lost some bench pieces. So I just don't think we're ready to take that next step this year. I still think we're another year away, but I think we're going to have another good season, and I'm hoping for another top 8 finish and hopefully European football. Here we are on the final match day, and as you guys can see, we have had a phenomenal season. We are overperforming again, and right now we sit in 4th place, but we are only a point ahead of Liverpool and Newcastle. And in this last match day, we are going up against first place Manchester United. Can we clinch Champions League and spoil Manchester United's Premier League dreams? Let's see, man. Well, let's go ahead and sim this one. And we win it 3-0. Oh my goodness. We are going to be in the Champions League next year. Wow. Just 2 seasons in, I have taken Burnley to the Champions League. You love to see it, man. On the final match day, we spoil Manchester United's title hopes and we clinch ourselves a spot in the Champions League. You love to see it, man. We will be playing Champions League football next season. But before we go ahead and move on to the next season, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here real quick. First up is Wout Weghorst, 20 goals in the Premier League this season. Absolutely phenomenal. And Samuel Chukwueze was absolutely phenomenal as well. 27 goal contributions in the Prem. 15 goal contributions in 44 games for Ian Matson. He's been phenomenal for us. 18 goal contributions for Josh Brownhill. That's very impressive as well. Ijuke, what did I tell you about this kid, man? 24 goal contributions in 40 games. He is so good. Go ahead and pick this guy up in any save you're doing. He'll cost you about 8 mil, and he'll give you about 20 goal contributions every year. And I'm playing him at midfielder, by the way. I'm sure he'd be even better on the wing. Ajuke he's a hidden gem, man. Our in-season recap, and as you guys can see, we finished 4th, picked up a spot in Champions League for next year. You love to see that. We made it to the semifinals of the FA Cup, and we actually won our little preseason cup too. So a very successful year. Maybe next year is the year we win the Premier League, but who knows, man? Let's just go ahead and keep it moving. All right, here's what the team is looking like headed into season number 3, and we're looking really good, man. But there's definitely still room for improvement here, specifically in that midfield. Really, we have 124 million to play around with, but I'm feeling, I'm feeling a little crazy, man. I'm not gonna touch the midfield. I think I know what I want to do with this 124 million. I'm gonna be going after Victor Osimhen from Spurs. Let's see if I can get a deal done here. I'm gonna try to put Wout Weghorst in. Let's see if I can get a swap deal done. Let's do Weghorst plus. Let's start off with 100 mil. 100 mil plus Wout Weghorst for Victor Osimhen. Let's see what they say. And they want 116. We're going to be able to get this done. We are going to be able to bring Victor Osimhen to Burnley. You're kidding me, man. This is going to be mad. And 105 million plus Wout Weghorst gets Victor Osimhen to Burnley. This is going to change this team, and maybe we will be able to contend for that Premier League title this year. Victor Osimhen to Burnley is huge. So I made one more signing. I picked up Victor Boniface from USG for 25 million, another Nigerian attacker. He's only 23 years old, 79 rated. He's 6'4" with good pace, good finishing. Yeah, there's nothing really not to like about him. I feel like he'll go perfect on the bench for us. So All right, here's what the team is looking like headed into season number 3, and we look really, really good, man. Our depth is lacking a little bit, and I completely neglected that, I know, but I just couldn't resist that Victor Osimhen deal. I really feel like this is going to put us over the top and possibly fight for the Premier League title this season. So let's just go ahead, see what happens. I will see you guys at the end of the season. The thing I love the most about this team is just how much pace it has. I don't think you guys truly realize the pace this team has. Chukwueze has 93 pace, Ajuke 92 pace, Osimhen 94 pace, Matson 93 pace, and Izvik with 94 pace. That is absolutely insane. 5 players with 92 plus pace. That's mad. All right, we have reached the end of the Premier League season. We have had a phenomenal year, but was it enough to win us the Premier League title? And as you guys can see on your screens here, yes, it was. With our third year at Burnley, we have won the Premier League title. What a rebuild this was. I mean, first year getting top 10, second year getting Champions League football, and third year winning the Prem. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. All right, taking a look at the stats here. As you guys can see, Victor Osimhen, 50 goal contributions in 53 games. I just knew that he would take us to the next level, man. I had a really good feeling about it. Victor Osimhen, phenomenal season. Samuel Chukwueze, he was phenomenal as well. 29 goal contributions in 54 games. Ajuke with 17 goal contributions in 52 games, not bad at all. Brownhill with 16 goal contributions. Twine actually had 7 goals. 17 goal contributions from Matson, 6 goals for De Silva, 4 for Bayer. I'll let you guys take a look at the rest of the stats here. I'm not going to go through them all. There's way too many, but I will see you guys in season recap. All right, here we are in season recap, and as you guys can see, we obviously won the Premier League, picked up that title in just 3 seasons. You'll love to see it. We also won our little preseason cup again, and we were knocked out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals by none other than Manchester City, who actually went on to win the whole thing. So, to be honest, I think getting knocked out of the Champions League was a true blessing for us because at the time when we got knocked out, we were tied on points with City, and just like a month later, we were up 7 points on them. They really put all their focus into the Champions League this year, and I think that's what led to us winning the Premier League. All right, so that completes the rebuild with Burnley. But before we move on to our next team, let's go ahead and take one final look at this Premier League winning squad. Ian Matson developed so well in this rebuild. He grew all the way to an 88 rated, just absolutely phenomenal. Chukwueze was absolutely phenomenal as well, 87 rated for him. But Victor Osimhen is what I think won us the Premier League. Other than City putting their attention towards the Champions League, Victor Osimhen really changed this team around, added even more firepower to this phenomenal attack. Next up is going to be Sheffield United, the Blades. Let's just go ahead, hop right into this, man. I will see you guys with the team. All right, here we are with the Sheffield United squad, and as you guys can see, we're looking pretty decent here. We aren't looking great. It's definitely not as good as the Burnley squad, but we look okay. I think we should be able to survive in the Premier League. I'm looking for a top 15 finish this year, but really, as long as we survive, I'm happy. This is what the team's looking like, but before we make any changes, let's go ahead and take a look at the players we've listed for transfer. Here we are with the players we have listed for transfer, and there's actually quite a few here, so we should be making a pretty decent amount of money, actually. Right now, we are currently sitting at 34 million to spend, but you got to think we'll be making money from season ticket sales and also those player sales. So I will see you guys once we have some sales. We were able to sell every single player we listed for transfer, and that has doubled our budget. We now have 70 million to play around with this year. So let's go ahead, hop in, and make some signings. This team desperately needs a goalkeeper, and that is why I went out and bought Manuel Neuer from Bayern Munich. Just 3.2 million for one of the best goalkeepers in the game. You can't go wrong. He'll give you a good season or two. Manuel Neuer is coming to Sheffield United. This should be huge, and I think he is going to be the reason why we stay up in the Premier League this season. I also brought in Gavin Bazunu. Obviously, Neuer isn't going to be good forever. He's going to start regressing soon. So I brought in Gavin Bazunu to take his place once Neuer is done. We needed some serious help in our back line, and that is why I went out and picked up two big boy center backs. First, Mohamed Salisu from Southampton, 23 years old, 76 rated. We got him on a really good deal, only 12 million for him. Next up is Isaac Keane from Hellas Verona, 23 years old, 75 rated. We picked him up for 16 million. Next up, we are going after the giant from AFC Bournemouth, Philip Billing. He's a 6'6" midfielder. I mean, I don't think I need to see any more. I want this guy on my team. So let's go ahead and go in with an offer. We'll start it off with 10 million for Philip Billing. 1% sell-on clause, really? That's what we're doing? Get that out of here, man. 10 million for Philip Billing. The 6'6" giant is coming to Sheffield United. Taking a look at our team here, we are looking much better, but I still don't think this team's done yet. We definitely need some help in the left and right midfield department, but we only have 9 million to play around with. But I think I have an idea here. I'm going to be going after Diego Lainez and Carlos Rodriguez. They were on the free agent market, and they'll be just fine for us for at least a season at left and right midfield. They should pair well together. They play on the Mexican national team together. So I think pairing these two up at Sheffield United is going to bring good things. After the additions of Diego Lainez and Carlos Rodriguez, this team is looking complete, headed into season number 1. And I expect pretty big things from this team, honestly. I'm expecting like a top 12 finish. After seeing what Burnley did in their first year, finishing 8th, I think this team is very capable of finishing 12th. Boys, I am in complete and utter shock. I truly cannot believe this. We somehow finished 5th place and secured ourselves a spot in the Europa League next season. We picked up 20 wins and scored 70 goals, which was the 3rd most in the entire league. I can't believe it. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why this happened. I'm just shocked. And it never really stopped. Like, if this started at the beginning of the season, and we just never slowed down. We picked up 3 wins out the gate. Just never slowed down. I can't believe how well we've done. I mean, our defense really wasn't even that good. It was our attack. I mean, look at our attack. How? Taking a look at the stats here, and you guys can see some of our players just absolutely broke out this year. Ndiaye with 23 Premier League goals. That's just absolutely insane. Did he win the Golden Boot? Did he win the Golden Boot? I swear if he won the Golden Boot. Okay, he was 3rd. He finished just behind Haaland and Mahrez. He was 3rd in the entire league. Are you kidding me? How does that happen? I am so confused, man. Carlos Rodriguez with 30 goal contributions in the... What? How? How? Diego Lainez with 15 goals in the Premier League. Absolutely insane. Philip Billing with 9 goals on the year. Very good. 6 goal contributions for Burge. You guys can take a look at the rest of the stats here. I cannot believe how good we were, man. Ndiaye, Rodriguez, and Lainez. Oh my god. Here we are with the team headed into season number 2. Taking a look at the squad, man, it's very clear that we need a new left back. Maybe even a new striker. Ndiaye was phenomenal last year, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to repeat that again. So let's go ahead and address these positions. I will see you guys with our shortlist. The first player I'm going after is going to be Ryan Sensigon from Tottenham Hotspur. Let's go ahead and make an offer here. I'm going to start this one out with around 20 million. See what they say to that. They want a 6% sell-on clause. Let's remove that. And that gets the deal done. 20 million for Ryan Sensigon. He is coming to Sheffield United. As you guys can see, the transfer window closes in just 10 hours, and I really like my squad, but there's definitely some improvements to be made still, and we have 88 million to play around with. And I'm thinking I would like to go after a big-time striker to place in Ndiaye. So that big-time striker I'm going to be going after is none other than Gabriel Jesus. Let's see if we can get a deal done here on the final deadline day. Let's start it off here with an offer of 80 million. And they just straight up say yes. 80 million for Gabriel Jesus. Now we got to agree to personal terms with him. And this is going to be a little bit tricky because we don't have the funds, really. he might have to take a bit of a pay cut. His current wage is 145. We'll be able to offer him somewhere around there. It's going to be pretty close. Let's start off with an offer of 160,000 weekly wage with a 400,000 signing on bonus. This is going to be my starting offer. Let's see what he says here. And he says yes. Gabriel Jesus is coming to Sheffield United. You love to see it, man. That looks good, man. Gabriel Jesus and the Sheffield United kit. The official reveal of Gabriel Jesus as a Sheffield United player. Looks amazing, man. He's going to be phenomenal for us. Here's what the team is looking like after the transfer window. We look amazing, man. Gabriel Jesus is a big upgrade over Ndiaye, and Sensagon is a huge upgrade over Lowe. This team's going to be a lot better this year. It really is. I think we can get Champions League football this year, whether that's getting top 4 or winning the Europa League. I feel like we will be playing in the Champions League next season, but we'll see, man. I expect big things from this team this season. Anyways, I will see you guys at the end of the season. As you guys can see on your screens here, we have done it again, finishing 5th, securing ourselves a spot in the Europa League again next season. You guys can see on your screens, 20, 12, and 6. Phenomenal season. We scored 69 goals, only let in 43. Not too shabby at all. Before we move on to season recap, though, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. Taking a look at the stats here, as you guys can see, Diego Lainez was absolutely phenomenal this season. 22 goals, 12 assists. You love to see that, man. Gabriel Jesus with 26 goal contributions in 37 games. Very impressive. Carlos Rodriguez with 19 goal contributions on the year. And Ndiaye with 18 goal contributions in just 23 games. You love to see that. Sander Berge with 11 goal contributions, Billing with 14, Sensagon with 10. I'll let you guys take a look at the rest of the stats here. I mean, this is ridiculous. As you guys can see here, Manuel Neuer ended up with 4 assists on the season. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, man, that's kind of funny. Huge thing I forgot to tell you guys, though. I found this absolute wonder kid in the youth academy. Giovanni Peters. He's a right midfielder. He's only 19 years old, 75 rated, and he has 88 to 94 potential. At least that's what it was at when I pulled him out of the youth academy. And so that means Rodriguez is out and Peters is in for the starting 11. I'm going to give the kid a chance, see what he can do. Even though he is only 75 rated, I'm not going to be looking into buying another right midfielder. So that means I'm going to be looking to improve the right wing back position and left wing back position. As you guys can see here, I have accepted an offer from Newcastle for $34 million for Ryan Sessegnon. I feel like that's pretty good value considering we bought him for just $20 million last year. Get a $14 million profit back. We now have $135 million to play around with. Let's go make 2 huge signings at the wing back position. First up, I have gone after Ian Matson from Nottingham Forest, 22 years old, 79 rated, and I picked him up for $32 million. I feel like that's a really good deal. This kid was absolutely phenomenal for us in the Burnley rebuild. Next up, we got his Dutch brother, Jeremy Frimpong, 23 years old, 86 rated. His contract was expiring, so I got him on a steal, $68 million in total. That is $100 million spent to improve our wing-back position. Here's what the team is looking like after the transfer window. The addition of Frimpong and Matson is going to be huge for us. I'm telling you, man. I'm expecting Champions League football this year. Anything else is a disappointment. So let's go ahead, hop in, see if we can make top 4. I will see you guys at the end of the season. Here we are, boys. We have not reached the end of the season just yet, but here we are in this FA Cup final up against Liverpool. Let's see if we can pick up our first trophy on the rebuild as Sheffield United boss. Let's sim this one. And we lose it 1-0. Mo Salah gives Liverpool the winner. That's sad. As you guys can see, once again, we finish in 5th place. We are just 5th place merchants at this point. Again, securing a spot in the Europa League again for next season. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats before we keep it moving into season number 4, though. Gabriel Jesus was phenomenal this season. 36 goal contributions in 53 games. Bruh. Philip Billing, the 6'6 center mid, 31 goal contributions on the season. That's insane. Diego Lainez, another very good season, 28 goal contributions on the year. Can't complain about that. And there's a ton of stats to go through here, man. Yeah, I can't read them all. You guys can take a look at them. All right, boys, here's the squad headed into season number 4. As you guys can see, Manuel Neuer is out, and Gavin Bazunu is now our number one choice goalkeeper. I also loaned in Gabriel Slonina just as backup and maybe even competition if Gavin Bazunu struggles a little bit. Um, I replaced Peters with Carlos Rodriguez once again. I just feel like Peters struggled too much last year. He's only 20 years old, so we're going to give him some more time, give him another year on the bench, let him develop some more. I also picked up Teixeira and Gomez in the free agent market. They're both 17 years old. Teixeira 74 rated, Gomez 77 rated. They're really going to help out our bench. So, taking a look at this team, our weak link obviously is Gavin Bazunu, but I really want to give him a chance to develop. So we're going to keep him there. But to compensate for having a low rated goalkeeper, I think we need to improve that back line, have a strong central defense. So let's go ahead and bolster up this back line. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the players we've listed for transfer. As you guys can see here, I have listed Anel for transfer as well as Salusu. So they're going to be bringing in a ton of money, maybe around 80 million for those two. And Dye has requested a loan, and I can't really do anything about that. So I'm just going to wait it out, and we'll sell him either at the end of the window or in January because I'm not loaning this dude out. He's way too expensive just to let go on loan. The first player I have gone after is Evan Nadika from Bayern Munich, 25 years old, 83 rated. He's a left-footed center back. We picked him up for 50 million. I feel like this is a good deal for us. He's going to go great alongside Isaac Keane, and we need one more center back. So let's go ahead and find our central center back. Lastly, I'm going to be going after none other than Virgil van Dijk from Inter Milan. He is 33 years old at this point in his career, but he is still an 88 overall. He's valued at 43.5 million, but his contract is expiring. We're going to get him on a phenomenal deal. Let's see. Let's go in with an offer here. We'll start it off with 32 million. I don't want to do a swap deal here. Let's do 35 million for Virgil van Dijk. They want 37. I think we can do 35. 35 and a half. I'll do that. 35.5 million for Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk is coming to Sheffield United. This is what the team is looking like now. We're looking really good, man. I honestly think we can win the Premier League this year. I still haven't sold anybody, so we're going to have some money to play around with in January. So I will see you guys there. Here we are in January, and it's looking like it's going to be our year. We have officially taken that next step, and proving that back line has really helped us. As you guys can see, through 20 games, we are first in the Premier League. We sit 5 points ahead of second place Manchester City. We've won 16 of those 20 games, and we have a 32 goal differential. We have scored by far the most in the league with 52 in 20 games, which is absolutely insane. We're averaging almost 3 goals per game, and we've only let in 20. So we're doing great, man. We do have 70 million to play around with, so we could improve the team. But honestly, man, if we're doing this good, I don't think there's any need at all to make any changes. All right, we're going to keep it moving. Let's see if we can make this season our last season with Sheffield United. I will see you guys at the end of the season. We are now in May, and as you guys can see on your screens here, we have clinched the Premier League title in our 4th year as Sheffield United boss. We have won the Premier League title. You love to see it, man. We had a phenomenal rebuild here again. Every year at Sheffield United, we finished top 5. Crazy year, man. So this is going to be our last year at Sheffield United, but the fun isn't over just yet. We have an FA Cup final coming up against Burnley, actually, which is going to be very interesting. And we also have a Europa League final coming up against OGC Nice, and I'm going to be hopping in and playing that one. So I will see you guys there. Before we hop into that Europa League final, let's go ahead and sim this FA Cup final up against Burnley. We are without Gabriel Jesus and Evan Ndika for this one, which is pretty disappointing. We'll go with the young guns for this one. Let's see if we can pick up our first trophy on the season in this FA Cup final up against Burnley. We're going to be simming this one, and we lose it 2-1. Wow. Wow. That's crazy, man. That is our third cup final we've lost in this rebuild with Sheffield. It is now time to take on OGC Nice in this Europa League final. We are still without Evan Ndika, unfortunately, so we're going to have to play the homie Mohamed Salisu. This is the squad we're going to be rocking with for this Europa League final. Let's just go ahead, hop right in, waste no time. I will see you guys there. Here we are on the attack, 86 minute. This could be our chance here. Gabriel Jesus has a chance to give us the lead and win us the Europa League title. Gabriel Jesus. Jesus! What a strike! Gabriel Jesus! He wins us the Europa League title. What a move and what a strike from Gabriel Jesus. That is phenomenal. Taking a look at the stats here, as you guys can see, Diego Lainez was absolutely phenomenal. 52 goal contributions on the year for the free agent, 27 Premier League goals. Did Diego Lainez win the Golden Boot? Oh my God. Oh my God. Diego Lainez actually won the Golden Boot. That is insane. Wow. From free agent to Golden Boot winner. Absolutely insane. But anyways, let's keep it moving. Next up is Gabriel Jesus, who was just as phenomenal this season. 45 goal contributions in 62 games. You love to see that. Carlos Rodriguez is back with 32 goal contributions in 63 games. Philip Billing almost had 20 goals on the year. The 6'6" phenom in the midfield. Sander Berge with 21 goal contributions on the year. Very nice season. Ian Matson with 9 goal contributions. I'll let you guys go through the rest of the stats here. Frimpong had 10. Here we are now in season recap, and as you guys can see, we had a terrific season. Obviously, we won the Premier League, we won the Europa League, and came just short in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. We were really, really close to a historic quad, but it is what it is, man. A phenomenal final season for us here at Sheffield United. But before we move on, let's go ahead and take one final look at the team. All right, so that completes the Sheffield United rebuild. But before we move on to our final team, let's go ahead and take one last look at this Premier League winning squad. Gabriel Jesus was phenomenal for us. He grew to a 91 rated. Jeremy Frimpong was phenomenal for us as well. He was 91 rated too. But what I really think won us the Premier League in this last season and what really made us take that final step we needed was improving this back line. Going after Virgil van Dijk and Evan Ndika was huge for us. Even with Gavin Bazunu in at goal, our defense was rock solid. You love to see that. And lastly, how could I not talk about Diego Lainez? Free agent, 72 overall to Golden Boot winner, 91 overall, and just 4 years. Lastly is none other than Luton Town. This one's going to be a real challenge for us, man. This is going to be difficult, but let's waste no time. Let's go ahead, hop right in. I will see you guys there. Here we are with the squad. I have decided to run a 4-2-3-1 wide, and as you guys can see here, this team is not looking too hot. I think we're going to struggle pretty bad our first year in the Prem. We may even get relegated, but I guess we'll just have to find out. This is what the team's looking like. But before we go ahead and make any signings, let's go ahead and take a look at the players we've listed for transfer. Before we do that, though, I would like to address a few players we have here on loan. First up, Marvelous Nakamba. He just signed for Luton in real life, but in my rebuild, I just can't fit him in. He doesn't fit my scheme, my tactics, so I'm going to be terminating his loan. I know this is pretty controversial, but I feel like this is going to be the best for the team. Next up is Ethan Horvath. We'll keep him here for this year. I don't plan on signing him long-term, though. Next up, though, is Cody Drama from Leeds United. I want this kid on the team long-term, so let's go ahead and see if I can make an offer here to Leeds United. I'll start it off with $3 million. As you guys can see here, Leeds United accepted our bid for $3 million. Now Cody Drama is officially a Luton Town player. Here we are with the players I've decided to list for transfer, and there's a few guys here. We should get about 10 million in total back for him, and that'll help out a lot because right now we're sitting at just 25 million. And I was almost spot on. Now we are sitting at 34 million. We gained a total of 9 million from all those transfers. Taking a look at the team here, we have a lot of holes to fill, but first up, I would definitely like to go after a new cam, a new right and left midfielder, and as well as a new number one choice goalkeeper. So let's go out and make some signings. For our first signing, I have decided to go after a new number one choice goalkeeper, and it is none other than Kasper Schmeichel from OGC Nice. He's a legend. He has passed his prime, but for just 3 million, you can't go wrong. Kasper Schmeichel, the new number one choice goalkeeper of Luton Town. For the left and right midfield positions, I have decided to go after two youngsters. First up is Diego Moreira from Benfica, 18 years old, 68 rated, and I picked him up for just 3 million. And second is Antonio Nusa from Club Bruges, 17 years old, 67 rated, and I picked him up for just 3 million as well. We aren't done yet. Let's go ahead and make some more signings. Next up, I have gone after a new fullback, and it is none other than Nathan Patterson from Everton, 20 years old, only 70 rated, and I got him in a swap deal for just 2 million in Dowdy. I feel like that's a pretty good deal for us. I have one more signing to make. I will see you guys there. And last, but most certainly not least, I have decided to go after a new cam, and it is none other than Arda Güler, the wonder kid from Fenerbahce. He is off to Real Madrid in real life, but in here, we swooped him for just 12 million. What a signing this is going to be. He's going to be phenomenal for us. So that completes our first transfer window. I'm not going to be making any more signings this year. So let's go ahead and take a look at the final team going into season one. Here we are with the squad. This is what the team is going to be looking like for the rest of the year. And I like this team, but I'm not sure it's going to be good enough to survive. This is a very young team, so what we're going to be doing in these first couple of years, it's just going to be all about developing our young guys, specifically Goulier, Nusa, Moreira, Drama, and Patterson, maybe even Adebayo. But let's just go ahead, see what happens this first year. If we get relegated, that's okay. I kind of expect it, to be honest, but you never know. We have reached the end of season one, and as you guys can see on your screens here, we have been relegated. We just missed out on survival by 2 points, so that's very unfortunate, but honestly, man, we just weren't good enough this year. 21 losses in the league, a negative 32 goal differential. We really struggled our first year in the Premier League, but on the positive note, our young players did progress pretty well, so that's good. But before we hop into season number two, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. Here we are with the stats, and as you guys can see, Arda Güler was our leading goal scorer with 11 goals on the year. He had 6 assists as well. That's a very nice season for him. Woodrow was actually our second leading goal scorer with 10 goals and only 12 appearances. He was phenomenal when he got a chance to play. Diego Moreira with 16 goal contributions on the year. He was really, really good for us. Adebayo with 11 goal contributions on the year. Not too bad. Jordan Clark with 10 goal contributions in 40 games. You love to see that from a CDM. That's insane. Antonio Nusa only had 4 goals on the year, which was pretty disappointing, but he's young. We just got to give him time. Luke Barry with 7 goal contributions. Lansbury actually had 4 goals, and I'll let you guys take a look at the rest of the stats here. Well, boys, next year we'll be back in the championship. I will see you guys there for season number 2. Here we are in season number 2, and as you guys can see, we are back in the championship once again. That's disappointing, but to be honest, man, we kind of expected this. So our goal for this year is obviously just to secure automatic promotion, but really, we should win the league with no problem. Taking a look at the squad here, headed into season number 2, as you guys can see, this is a very strong squad for the championship, and like I said, we should have no problems. So for that reason, I don't plan on making a whole lot of moves. I'm not going to be selling anybody, but I will be making a few signings, so I will see you guys there. First up, I have gone after James Trafford from Manchester City. He's 20 years old, 71 rated, and I picked him up for just 4 million. This kid's super underrated in real life. He has been balling out for England in the under 21 Euros, and I think he's going to do great for Burnley in real life as well. For our second and last signing of this window, I have gone after Kieran Dewsbury-Hall from Leicester City, 24 years old, 79 rated, and he's going to come in and instantly be one of the best players on this team. And I got him on a good deal because his contract was expiring. Only paid $20 million. So this is what the squad is going to be looking like for the rest of season one. We should have no problems in the championship. I will see you guys at the end of the season when we are championship winners. We have reached the end of season two, and as you guys can see on your screens here, we actually finished second. We didn't win the league, which is pretty disappointing, but still a pretty good season. 26, 10, and 10, scored 83 goals, only let in 53. Not too shabby at all. Here we are now in season number three. As you guys can see, I've switched to a 4-3-3, and honestly, man, I'm looking to bring in a new midfielder and a new winger too. Nusa has not been it so far, and he had that injury last season. I'm worried about how he's going to do this year in the Premier League. So I'm looking to bring in a new winger and a true midfielder to go alongside Dewsbury Hall. Let's go ahead and make those signings, but before we do that, let's take a look at the players we've listed for transfer. As you guys can see, we have decided to list Alan Campbell and Antonio Nusa for transfer. Antonio Nusa just wasn't cutting it for us. He just wasn't good enough, and he had a major injury last year. So we're letting him go. And Alan Campbell, with the formation switch, he just doesn't fit into our team. So we're going to be letting him go as well. As you guys can see here, we have sold Antonio Nusa to Crystal Palace and Alan Campbell to Club Brugge. That brings our budget up to $104 million, so we have a ton of money to play around with in this window. So let's go ahead and make some signings. The first signing I am going to be making in this window is going to be James Ward-Prowse from Southampton, 29 years old, 81 rated, and I picked him up for just $26 million. He's going to go great in the midfield alongside Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. I'm excited about this signing. And lastly, I have gone after Javi Simmons from PSV. He's a cam, but he can play on the wings as well. He's 21 years old, 83 rated, and I picked him up for $70 million. This is a huge signing, but I feel like he's going to be worth every penny. I can't wait to bring this kid into the team. So in total, that is a $96 million transfer window, $70 million on Simmons, and $26 million on Ward-Prowse. I'm going to get this kid signed up, and I will see you guys with the team. So here's what the squad is looking like headed into season number three, and we're looking very, very good, man. This team looks much different, and we're looking dangerous, man. This attack looks phenomenal, but this defense is worrying me a little bit, man. We might be conceding a lot of goals this year, but I do expect this team to get top 10, maybe even European football. Maybe I'm crazy because this defense definitely is going to let in some goals, but I think this attack is going to score so many goals. We have reached the end of the season, and as you guys can see, we have finished 12th, just like Chelsea. This is depressing, man. I really thought that we would be better this season. But as you guys can see, we let in 70 goals. We had the second worst defense in the entire league. That doesn't really surprise me at all, honestly. So next year we'll look to improve on this defense. But yeah, not a great season. Before we move on to season number 4, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here real quick. Javi Simmons was our leading goal scorer on the year with 18 goals, had 3 assists as well. Arda Güler was absolutely phenomenal this season, 29 goal contributions on the year. You'll love to see that. Adebayo with 15 goals on the year, Ward-Prowse with 8 goal contributions, Morea with 7, Patterson with 5, Dewsbury Hall with 4. We are now in season number 4, and this is what the squad is looking like. We need to improve the central defense this transfer window, and the bench could use a little bit of work too, honestly. But the problem is the board only gave us $50 million to spend this transfer window, which is really disappointing, and we've already used $6 million of it. So we only have $44 million to play around with, and we're not going to be selling to anybody. So we have to use this $44 million wisely. Let's go do that. We needed a backup striker, so first up, I've gone after Keenan Davis from AFC Bournemouth, 27 years old, 77 rated, and I picked him up for just $10 million. He's 6'3", and he's going to go great on the bench for us. And lastly, to improve our defense, I have gone after multiple-time Premier League winner, Champions League winner, Nathan Ake. He is currently at Everton. He's 30 years old, 81 rated, and I picked him up for $25 million. This is the kind of experience we need in our backline. So that wraps up our transfer window. In total, we spent 35 million, 10 million on Keenan Davis, and 25 million on Nathan Ake. Two good signings there. I will see you guys with the team. So here's what the squad is looking like headed into season number 4. I think the addition of Nathan Ake is going to help out a lot. I also decided to play Osho in effort to help out this back line. The bench looks improved, so I think we're ready to hop into season number 4. I will see you guys at the end of the season. We have reached the end of the season, and as you guys can see, we have just squeaked into the top 10. And as you guys can see on your screens there, we have allowed 66 goals this year. That's only 4 less than last year. And again, the second most in the entire league. Our defense was still atrocious. Ake and Osho didn't really help at all. But it is what it is, man. Hopefully, the board will give us more money next year. We are about to hop into season number 5, but before we do, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the stats real quick. As you guys can see on your screens here, Elijah Adebayo was our leading goal scorer with 25 goals and 40 appearances. You love to see that. Phenomenal season from him. Javi Simmons with 17 goal contributions on the year, 14 for Maria, 10 for James Ward-Prowse, 17 for Goulet. Here's what the squad is looking like headed into season number 5, and again, we need to improve this defense, but the board only gave us 64 million to play around with, but we did end up selling Angel Elecron for about 22 million, so now we have 83 million to play around with. I'm thinking we should bring in another center back. As you guys can see here, I have gone after Lisandro Martinez from Manchester United, 28 years old, 88 rated, and I picked him up for just 65 million as his contract was expiring. This is a phenomenal deal for us. He's going to really help this back line. I cannot wait to bring him in. I'm going to get him signed up, and I will see you guys with the team. Here we are with the final squad headed into season number 5, and we're looking very nice, but I'm not sure if we have taken that next step yet to be able to contend for that Premier League title, but I am hoping we can get Champions League football this year. Guess we'll just find out. I will see you guys at the end of the season. We have not reached the end of the season just yet, but as you guys can see on your screens here, we have reached the FA Cup final, and we're going to be taking on Liverpool. So I figured let's just hop in, sim this one, see what happens here. Will we pick up our first trophy on the rebuild? And we lose it 3-2. Damn. We have reached the end of season 5, and as you guys can see, we finished 5th, securing ourselves a spot in the Europa League for next season. And if you take a look at it, we only allowed 51 goals this year, which is much better than years prior. So the addition of Lisandro Martinez must have really helped. Before we move on to season number 6, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the stats here real quick. Elijah Adebayo with 20 goals in 46 games. You'll have to see that. Diego Moreira with 27 goal contributions on the year. Phenomenal season for him. Javi Simmons with 22 goal contributions. Goulet with 22 goal contributions as well. These 4 were terrific this season. We are now in season number 6, and this is what the squad is looking like headed into the season. And again, I'm looking to address this back line. I still feel like it could be much, much better. And this time around, we actually have 120 million to play around with. And trust me, we're going to put that to good use. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the players we've listed for transfer. Here we are with the players I have listed for transfer. First up is Cody Drama. He's been here since day one, but at this point in his career, he's just not getting any better, and an 81 rated is just not good enough. Same for Patterson, pretty much. And Antonio Arias is very good. I'm pretty sure he's Messi's regen, but we just can't fit him into the lineup, so we'll just cash in on him now. This is going to be a ton of money coming in. As you guys can see, we have a budget of nearly 280 million now. I'll show you guys how we did that real quick. First up, we sold Antonio Arias to Roma for 45.5 million, Drama to Aston Villa for 40 million, Patterson to Atletico Bilbao for 60 million, and lastly, I didn't plan on doing this, but I sold Nathan Ake to PSG for 24 million. I needed that extra 24 million to make these few signings coming up. So I will see you all there. First up, I have gone after Christian Romero from Juventus. 29 years old, 88 rated, and I picked him up for 90 million. He's going to go great alongside his Argentinian brother, Lisandro Martinez, in that back line. This is going to be perfect. For our last two signings, I have gone after two ballers at the fullback position. First up is Reece James from Chelsea, 27 years old, 88 rated, and I picked him up for just $70 million as his contract was expiring. What a deal that is. And lastly, I've gone after Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool. I picked him up for $90 million, 28 years old, 88 rated. He's going to be phenomenal for us. So in total, that is $90 million for Romero, $70 million for Reece James, and $90 million for Alexander-Arnold. In total, that is a $250 million transfer window. We broke out the checkbook for this one, but I think these are some signings that can help us win the Premier League. Here we are now with the team after this transfer window, and we are looking absolutely phenomenal. This looks like a whole different team. This back line is amazing, and I fully expect us to win the Premier League this season. Anything else would be a disappointment. So, let's go ahead and win that Premier League. I will see you guys at the end of the season. We have reached the end of the Premier League season, and as you guys can see, we finished second. Manchester City ruining all the fun and getting 94 points. So we missed out on the title this year, but on the bright side, we have made the Europa League final. We're going to be taking on Bayern, and I will see you guys there. Here we are now in a solo run, 102nd minute. This could be our chance. Davis. He's looking for Maria. Maria is going to be through a goal. Diego Maria! He scores it. Let's go. We take the lead 1-0 in the 103rd minute of this Europa League final. Let's go. Diego Maria gives us the lead. And that's going to be it. We are Europa League champions. Diego Maria scores the winner in the 103rd minute. You love to see it. Disappointment on one side. Here we are now at the stats, and oh my god, Diego Maria was phenomenal. 31 goals and 7 assists. That is absolutely insane. 38 goal contributions and 56 appearances. That is terrific. Arda Güler stepped it up this season. 23 and 4. You love to see that. Adebayo with 15 goals on the year. 18 goal contributions from Simmons, 11 from Trent Alexander-Arnold, 10 from Ward-Prowse, 5 for Reece James. Here we are with the squad headed into season number 7, and for this offseason, I think I would like to target the midfield. Yeah, the midfield's definitely our weakest point. JWP is starting to regress at this point, so let's go ahead and target some new midfielders. I have gone out and made two signings in the midfield. First up is Bernardo Silva, 33 years old, 86 rated, and his contract is expiring, so I picked him up for just $40 million. I feel like that is an absolute steal. Next up is his Portuguese brother, Bruno Fernandes, 33 years old, 86 rated as well, and again, I picked him up for just $40 million as his contract was expiring. This move just makes so much sense, both of them do, and I can't wait to bring these two to the team. This is what the team is looking like now, and oh boy, are we looking stacked as ever. This team looks absolutely amazing, and I don't know how anybody's going to stop us. But let's just go ahead and see what happens, man. But before we send to the end of the season, we have a FA Community Shield game and a UEFA Super Cup game coming up, so let's go ahead and sim those real quick. Here we are up against City in this FA Community Shield game. Let's just see if we can pick up a quick trophy real quick. And we lose it on pens. Fuck Man City, bro. Here we are now in this UEFA Super Cup up against PSG. Let's see if we can pick up another trophy. And we do. That is our second trophy on the rebuild. We pick up a UEFA Super Cup and a Europa League. Okay, I will now see you guys at the end of the season when we are Premier League champions. We have not reached the end of the Premier League season just yet, but as you guys can see on your screens here, we are in an FA Cup final, taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Let's see if we can pick up a trophy here, and I'm sure we can, man. You know, Spurs don't win trophies. It's just not in their culture. It's just something they don't do. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and pick up a trophy here. And easy dubs. They didn't even score. That's what I'm saying, man. Spurs, they're just bottlers. Fuck Spurs. Boys, we have finally done it. After 7 long years at Luton Town, we are finally Premier League champions. Man, this took forever, and this was a serious challenge, and we still barely beat out Manchester City by just a point. What a rebuild this was. This was this was difficult, man. It took me until 2029. Wow. Before we wrap this one up, we'll take a second to look at the stats and the team real quick. Diego Morea, oh my God. 29 and 14, that is phenomenal. Javi Simmons with 27 and 11, that is crazy. Adebayo with 17 goals on the year, 15 and 14 for Goulet, 11 and 6 for Bruno Fernandes, 8 goal contributions for TAA, 6 for Silva, 8 for Reece James. Here we are taking one last look at this Premier League winning squad, and this squad's insane, man. Diego Morea, Arda Güler, and Javi Simmons carried us from day one, and I can't believe how good they ended up being for us. They were absolutely amazing. As you guys can see here, they all grew to a 93 rated. And what really turned this rebuild around, though, obviously, was fixing this back line, adding Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, and Christian Romero all in the same offseason was wild, and that just completely transformed our team. We were just a completely different team from that point on. Well, boys, that's going to be all for this 100 sub special. I truly hope you guys enjoyed because I worked really, really hard on this, and it took a long time. So if you guys enjoyed, I'd really appreciate it if you'd show me some love by dropping a like and sub. That'd mean a lot to me, man. But anyways, obviously, I disappeared for 3 weeks. I know. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen again. But if you guys checked my community post, you would have known where I was at. And also, I have a Twitter. I will put that in the description. And I'm starting the Discord very soon. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. Well, boys, that's all I got for this 100 sub special. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers, man. This is just the beginning. I love you guys. It's been real. See y'all in the next one.